Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally going to be filming another journal flip through. If you guys are here because of my 2019 journal flip through, then honestly bless you, because it's been so many years since I did that video and I promised you that I was going to be doing a 2021, but 2020, honestly, you know, it was the year that thing happened. Everything kind of all went crazy, and so did my mental health. So yeah, that's the reason why it's literally 2023 and I'm giving you my 2020 journal flip through. This journal's like not fully complete, but then I had this realization the other day and I was like, it literally doesn't matter. It's like 99% complete. I'm the only person who's going to care about that. That's what today's video is going to be. This is the journal. It is the Fantastic Beasts one that you can get from Insight Editions. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I'll definitely link it if it is. I'm not sure why there's a random Percy Pig chocolate coin sticker on the front, but you know, that just looks like this, and then the back is like this. Super pretty journal. Who I was in 2020 is very different to who I am now for several reasons, but if you're a current subscriber then you might see what changes there are and whatever. But yeah, this is my magnum opus. This is my best journal so far. It is such an upgrade from the 2019 one. Without further ado, I know you guys got sick of my long intro in the previous video, so let's just go into the video. I've done several journal with me's through this journal, so I'll definitely make sure they're linked on the screen and down below, all the places. So it has these pages and then it has this like fold out bit here where it says a bunch of things about the creatures in Harry Potter. I found this random tag that I decided to put here. This is actually from my cousin's wedding in 2016, so I just had that lying around and decided to make use of it. And then I did like a 1920s theme because I was like, oh my gosh, it's the 20s, let's get to it, it's gonna be a good year. Little did I know at this point. But yeah, that was quite a fun page. I believe I was inspired by Amanda Rach Lee. If I can find any references or like inspirations for this journal, I'll definitely make sure to link them down below, as well as Pinterest pictures and artists and everything like that. So this is the first page. We have a January title page. I did title pages for every single month throughout 2020. I've got a quote here, which was from my church, and I've got another quote here. And then here I'm writing about my little brother's birthday, which is on January 3rd. This is my nooks. This is like a little section in my brother's room that I used to read in all the time. This was also a year of Animal Crossing. So there's Tom Nook. And the book that I was currently reading and loving was The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the third book in the Folk of the Air trilogy, which is actually so funny because I'm reading the first book in a series that's like a continuation series from this. Everything links back. But yeah, I quite like this page. Drew this logo as well in the font. The website ThredUp did this thing where you could like track your fashion imprint. I was really curious about it. It's based on like how many clothes you buy and how much you order online and everything like that. And mine was really low, I'm surprised, but I'm sure it's worse than that. But I decided to record that because I bothered doing it. And then I was actually part of the blog tour for Tweak You by Emma Lord, and so I worked with Wednesday Books, and yeah, it was really fun. I like doing that a lot. The bookstagram is Jemima Rose Reads, if you're curious. But yeah, that was a 5-star read. I really recommend that contemporary. These are like all throughout the book, and they're just images of the Fantastic Beasts creatures. I went to a garden centre with my mum, and then this is a little bit about how I felt moving back into uni. This page is clearly unfinished as well. I was going to put some photos. Then I saw 2 films. I saw one just in my room on Netflix, I think it was, and then I saw one in the cinema. So the first one was Isn't It Romantic? And I literally love this so much. It's a rom-com, but it was hilarious, and I really do recommend it. I would definitely rewatch it like literally any day. But I really like how this page turned out, and the David Copperfield one. Some of my best work. Love this film so much. Honestly, like a 5 out of 5 film for me, and I would really love to read the book actually. It's the only Dickens that I'm willing to give a go. But yeah, great film. I'd really recommend them both. Then I did my favourite songs and quotes, and then the books I read throughout January. I did this again for every single month. I like this page, it's really pretty. Again, kind of inspired by The Queen of Nothing. By You, I Am Forever Undone. I think that's a cool Prince quote. My February title page, very basic. I just cut this out from a magazine and then wrote it in, but it's obviously Valentine's Day themed. And then this is a sermon that I saw at church, and it was literally amazing. It was one of those things that tied in like history with biblical history to back up the stories in the Bible, and it was honestly, it just blew my mind. I really recommend it. I'll actually link it down below because I think you can get the podcast of it still. Honestly fascinating. I went out a couple of times in Feb with my flatmates and then with some friends on my course, so that's what this is. And then I also watched Kiki's Delivery Service for the first time, which I loved. Kind of resonated with me at this point because it's beginning to feel a little bit low. And this scene here, if you guys have seen it, I said I love the exploration of mental illness in a child. Are very much related to some of what Kiki said. I do these like pictures of Kiki and Gigi and then watercolor them later on. A little weekend where I went home from university and I went out for dinner with my mum, then for brunch with my brothers and my mum. Really lovely time, and I really need to get away from uni at that point, so that was really good. I'm gonna put my arm here because I think I'm a little bit overexposed. My friends on my course and I made this like not New Year's resolution, but like resolution to go out more and like try more of the pubs in the uni town. Yeah, obviously coronavirus was literally just around the corner, so that didn't end up really happening. I got into the accommodation that I really wanted to stay in for the next year, which actually was kind of a flop because of coronavirus, but at the time it was a real blessing. I made a list of my 2020 most anticipated releases, like book releases. I actually would love to go through this list and see which ones I've read, which ones I own, etc., or which ones I even still want to read. I watched P.S. I Still Love You, which is the second To All the Boys I Love Before movie. I loved the first one. The second one was so... I just hated it, basically. And the third one I didn't even bother watching. I literally rated it 1 star. And then it was Valentine's Day and I went out with my course mates and my flatmate. It was actually such a fun night. It was honestly great. Spending Valentine's with your friends is the superior thing to do. I like this page as well. I think it's really cute. I drew this rose. I was really into Suits and I was kind of binging it. I still haven't finished actually, but I still really enjoy it. I just haven't like watched it in a little while. And then I did a page on Birds of Prey, which was the new Suicide Squad movie, which I went to see with my flatmates, and I gave it 2 stars, so that's that on that. My little brother and I watched Lady Bird for the first time, and I did enjoy this one actually. I gave it 3 stars. I had these really cute Lady Bird stickers. I love that. I really like doing these movie spreads, and they became like a really popular kind of theme for me because obviously like during lockdown, so there's nothing else to do really other than watch films. I took some time off uni as well to come home for a few days. This page is obviously unfinished. This was just about the sermons I've been watching, but I literally didn't write anything more than that, so that's great. And then this one, apparently I went to a club and I wanted to do like a page of that, but I obviously didn't do that in the end. I went to a conference called Encounter, which was amazing. Honestly, one of my favourite things I've ever done, but definitely worth all the trouble to get to and everything like that. I just loved it, and I would love to have gone the following year, but obviously it was not on. This was literally right before everything kicked off. Then we have February quotes, playlist, and the one book I read, which was Stranger the Dreamer, so I did a whole page dedicated to that. This is my March title page. I hate how the glue is kind of like messed these up, but whatever. Overall, like quite a cute page. And then this is probably going to be blurred, so I think we'll skip over that, but yeah, it's just basically like a little journal entry. This is the lyrics from a song, worship song. This is kind of like things about leaving uni to go home for the lockdown. Very cool, like kind of piece of history. And then this is about moving out of my uni room because I knew that at this point I was not really going to go back. I bought the new Animal Crossing New Horizons game. Literally was obsessed. So I decided to do like pictures of my first like little house and my native fruit and native flower, my little museum opening ceremony, and my starter islanders, as well as like my original map. This was definitely a highlight of the year. Then we have this page, which was for Mother's Day. I was going to do some writing and put some more pictures in. Didn't get around to that. And then I did a page of quarantine activities, so what I was getting up to during lockdown. YouTube, baking, family time, reading, journaling, zooming friends, and making art. I didn't draw the picture for that, obviously. This is a really cute picture that I saw online somewhere, so I decided to recreate it. So I just made these with like little stamps and then watercoloured this picture. Again, like a little piece of history. I read The Perks of Being a Wallflower for the first time. Gave it 5 stars. Actually one of my favourite books. I thought it was lovely. So I wrote the little playlist that's in the book and just some feelings about it and everything like that. Then favourite songs and quotes of March, and all the books that I read in March as well. I read some 5 stars and a 4-star. Good reading month. Blank page, not sure what that was meant to be. And then my April title page. This was meant to be about the first barbecue we had of the year, but again, didn't put any photos in from that. And then I hit 1,000 subscribers. Super exciting. I love how they use this emoji. It looks sarcastic. Definitely a highlight of the year. I'm very thankful for that. This is a spread of Good Friday and Easter Sunday. I just wrote about some of that here. I read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire for the first time. Why did I stutter there? And then we watched the film, so I did this whole spread on it. I think it's so cute. I literally love this bird. If you read the books, then you know. 5 out of 5 stars for that book. And then I did a drawing of one of the characters from Spiderwick, which is literally one of my favourite ever universes. I'd love to be able to do like the character studies, like in the books and the film and everything. So I decided to give it a go. That's how it turned out. It's alright. I could definitely do a better job now. I actually draw properly now, more properly than I did back then. April quotes, songs, books read. May title page. Then this is tattoo ideas. Probably gonna be blurred, but yeah. I don't know whether I'll ever get one. For someone who doesn't think she'll ever actually get a tattoo in her life, I sure have a lot of ideas for them. Then my friend Michaela, whose channel I'll link down below, she still makes YouTube videos, gifted me a copy of Hearts of Fierce and Broken off my Amazon wishlist, which was beautiful, honestly. Made my day, made my entire year, because no one ever gets me anything off my wish list. So when someone does, it's like the power of about 15 birthdays, like all into one. It's literally the best thing. Then I reread The Hunger Games for the first time. Loved it. I actually did a vlog on this, which I'll have linked. 5 stars, obviously. This is George from Seinfeld. I gotta focus, I'm shifting into the Hunger Games mode. And then I watched Ponyo for the first time with my family. This is a page I did a video for. This bit was meant to be how I'm feeling, how I was feeling about the lockdown. but obviously that never happened, and it's something I can't really recreate now because we're so many years out of it now, thankfully. And my university gave me back 50% of my rent costs for that semester because obviously I wasn't living in halls. I decided to spend that money on redoing my own bedroom because it was a space I was going to be spending a lot of time in. So I bought a new chest of drawers, I bought a new bookcase, I kind of like rearranged it and everything. Oh, I bought like a little kind of cabinet as well, all from IKEA. This made like a lot of difference. I definitely recommend like fully committing to this if your room is something you've been unhappy with for a long time. I watched Sword in the Stone. I think I watched it when I was really young, but I couldn't remember much of it, and I loved it. It was such a cute film. It's definitely an underrated one. I went on a picnic with my family. I was meant to put photos on, but obviously didn't do that. And then I made a list of my Animal Crossing dream villages, which is actually so funny looking back on because I now have Gwen, and I have Agnes, and I have Melba, I have Olaf, I have Avery. So it's kind of funny seeing the ones I did manage to get. I haven't been on this game in a long time, but I really do need to go back to it. Then this is the quotes and songs and books read in the month. Then we have my June title page. June 2020 was when the murder of George Floyd took place. June was a very dark month. It was just like a horrible time, so I wanted to mark that somehow, and so I did this very kind of loose sketch of two people holding hands. It was a really difficult month for many people, and it's something I kind of always want to remember because we always want to be still making these changes every day for the better. Then it was my mum's birthday. I was meant to put some pictures in here of her and whatever, but I just did a drawing of an owl, which I think is so cute actually. Shout out to Pass Me. And some stickers and things. This is quite a cute page, I like that. It's from Wanda and Ra. I'll link that picture down below. I read Thunderhead, which is the second book in the Arc of the Scythe series, for the first time. I gave it 5 stars. It was my favourite book of 2020, and I was just obsessed with it. One of my favourite things ever. This meme is hilarious. 23rd of June, I actually managed to meet up with some friends, even though we were all socially distanced in the park. I'll definitely fill this in at some later date. June, favourite songs, quotes, and... oh, the only book I read was Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman. So these are all quotes from Thunderhead. And then my July title page, Look How They Shine For You. So obviously the yellow Coldplay quote. There's a bunch of glitter on this page as well, as you can see. Then I did a quote from Haruki Murakami, which I found. I just wanted to do like a page just so I could write it down, but make it look a little bit more interesting than that. I think that's really beautiful. I definitely need to read Norwegian Wood, like literally because of this quote. My mum and I went to the garden centre again. Didn't do a page on it though. Random painting I did of a bunch of constellations. We have the Cancer constellation and then some random pictures that I saw around the internet. My birthday, so I wrote down all the big gifts I received. This hand is so creepy, I'm just now seeing. Then my mum and I went to a restaurant to celebrate my birthday the night before. So we just went for drinks, I think. Maybe we had dinner, can't remember. I need to put more pictures from here and write a little bit about that here. And one of my birthday gifts was going to an outdoor cinema to see Jurassic Park with my family. I went to a crocodile like sanctuary with my mum and my little brother. This is one of my favourite places in the world. I'm obsessed. And I drew some crocodiles. Literally love crocodiles, I think they're so cute. Okay, then this is an iconic page as well. It is now against the law to go into a store without a mask on. Times are weird, my dudes. True. My mum and I ordered some Etsy masks. I watched Mulan for the very first time actually, and I loved it. It actually came out in my birth year, which is kind of fun. And I also love this page. I think this is so cute. Folklore by Taylor Swift was released. Literally the first album from Taylor Swift that I've loved every single song on. They were definitely the songs of the summer. My favourites at the time were The One, Cardigan, August, Invisible String and Betty. I'd love to go back actually and see how much that's changed. I love Evermore as well. I had a picnic and some drinks with some friends, which is actually in a vlog, which I'll have linked. But yeah, I need to print pictures from that and write about it here, obviously. July quotes, July books read. Why are there no songs here? Interesting. Oh, maybe because it was all folklore, that'd be kind of nice. My August title page, obviously Taylor Swift lyrics. August slipped away into a moment of time, because it was never mine. And then for my birthday, I got to choose a film to watch with my family, and I chose The Hobbit, so that's what this page is. I love this. Everyone, get your hair done, we're going to war. That's about the elves. And then some little drawings. My younger brother released an album. It was obviously a very cool thing, so I decided to write down the songs and then some little things about it, and then also I was going to write here my favourite songs / some lyrics from it, but I need to go back and do that. I'll definitely link the album down below, because if you'd like to give it a listen, I'd really appreciate that, and I'm sure my little brother would too. It's like folk music, lots of acoustic guitar and things like that. It's actually music that I would listen to anyway, even if it was not written by my little brother. I watched Totoro with my family for the 2.5 time, funnily enough. Really cute little film. By the way, I watched all the Ghibli films this year because they were brought to Netflix, so it was really easy to find them. Then my family and I watched a bunch of Star Wars films. We watched these 3. First, kind of early ones, they're very nostalgic, and the ones I grew up watching. It was fun to watch all the originals from my childhood. And then this is Howl's Moving Castle, which I watched for the first time and loved. 5-star film. Little Calcifer. This is another one I did a page for actually. I went to Cornwall with my family. We actually managed to get away for a little holiday, which was beautiful. Obviously we were very careful with wearing masks and social distancing and things like that, but that was a really lovely time. It was when the restrictions were kind of eased a little bit in England. Mum and I picked figs when we were down in Cornwall, and we decided to make fig jam, so that's what this page is about. Obviously this is not done. August, favourite songs, quotes, books read. My September title page, that's such a cute quote. I haven't reread that since I first found it. This was going to be about my first days back at uni. I went out for dinner with some friends from school who actually were in town at the time, but obviously I didn't do much there, and I'm not sure how much it will add to this page. Chip Chrome and the Monotones album came out, which was the newest, like, latest release from the neighborhood. I think they're done, which is kind of sad because I didn't love this release. I wasn't obsessed with it. But my favourite songs were Pretty Boy, Lost in Translation, Devil's Advocate, Cherry Flavoured, Tobacco Sunburst in the middle somewhere. At this moment in time, I would have said that Neighbourhood were my favourite band, so I was kind of disappointed with this release, despite having so many favourite songs. They're not my favourites anymore, but I still hold them kind of close to my heart because of what they did once mean to me. And then this is a random painting. I think I just had leftover paint from painting something, and so I decided to use it. It's kind of fun. September, books read, favourite songs, and then one quote up here, which is not from a book. I think that's a Nat King Cole song. Could be Sinatra. October title page. Over the years, the pumpkin has transformed into a potent symbol of the season. That was from a food magazine. I went for brunch with my friend. Obviously, didn't complete this page. And then my brother's girlfriend visited. And I definitely do want to complete this page, but obviously didn't get around to it at the time. I finished Arrested Development. One fact about me is I never watch TV shows. Or, like, I do watch them occasionally, like with my brothers and things like that. I never complete a TV show. I've completed literally about 3 TV shows in my entire life. As in, like, 3, like, proper Netflix TV shows. I'm hopeless at it, but I actually did manage to complete Arrested Development. Loved it. This is such a good series. Honestly, 5 out of 5 stars. And then it was my little brother. Oh my gosh. My cat's 8th birthday. We made him a birthday cake, and then I did a little drawing of him. This past October, he actually turned 10. Isn't that crazy? Then I went to the garden centre with my mom. Didn't finish that, obviously. And then it was Halloween. I really like the beginning of this page. It's just one I do kind of want to go back and finish at some point. I really liked Halloween 2020 because obviously you, like, couldn't go out or anything. So I spent it at home and I just did, like, lots of baking, watched some Halloween shows, things like that. It was a good time. October favourites. These are kind of more general things. The Rain, New Girl, the TV show. The Garden Centre, POV by Ariana Grande, Bunch of Blackpink, Stay by Post Malone, the new Neighbourhood album, and then books read during that month. November title page, I love this. I think this is really creative and beautiful. Shout out to me. I'm, like, praising myself, but, like, this person who did this is a completely different person from who I am now. I'm not that self-absorbed, I promise you. This is a spread I did on the picture of, oh my gosh, stress. The picture of Dorian Gray. I was in the middle of reading it and I was enamoured. I read Everything I Never Told You. It was my second favourite book of the year. Loved it, obviously. 5 out of 5 stars. The PlayStation 5 was released and my older brother and I had this insane day of trying to buy it. If you didn't know, it was extremely hard to get your hands on it. We did actually secure it, but we spent the whole day doing this whole thing. So I definitely wanted to document that at some point because that was wild. Fell in love with Arctic Monkeys. This entire spread's going to be that at some point, but yeah, that was definitely a moment in time. Then things get a little bit empty here, and that's because of declining mental health. There's some blank pages. This is a page I was going to do for Thanksgiving because my brother's fiance is actually American, so we do celebrate Thanksgiving a little bit over here, and because my brother went to university in America and things like that. November favourites. This is me kind of heading down the hill, but you know, The Strokes, Arctic Monkeys, Everything I Never Told You, The Last Shadow Puppets, AirPods, the US being blue. Love to see it. This I filled in later, obviously. Having dinner at home. I think we did lots of, like, kind of fancy dinners. November reads. There's a lot there. Then December title page. And then this is a little bit how I was feeling. Yeah, so I thought I had seasonal affective disorder, SAD. But I found actually that in 2021, when the weather improved and the daylight saving thing kind of changed, that I personally did not change. So it was just straight up depression. It's amazing what you tell yourself about what you think is wrong with you when you don't have a clue. No concept of what depression actually was. So I couldn't identify that I was in it. Arctic Monkeys definitely kind of helped through that time, and particularly the song Knee Socks. So you got the lights on in the afternoon and the nights are drawn out long and you're continuing to cut through the gloom, and you were sitting in the corner with the coats all piled high in a small world on an exceptionally rainy Tuesday night. Well, you cured my January blues. Yeah, you made it all right. This vibe was the kind of thing that carried me through those months. This is a random page I was going to do for Christmas shopping. Did a bunch of that during this time, obviously. And then I did a list of all the gifts that I gave. This is my favourite Arctic Monkeys album. It's absolute chaos, this spread, because I tried to write exactly like why I love it so much. So this will probably be blurred. And then I did a drawing of it, which is really bad, but whatever. Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. The true love of my life. Then this was about my mum's kind of last day at work before she broke up for Christmas. Christmas prep, things I was doing to prepare for Christmas. This is a cute page, but unfinished, obviously. I started drawing for the first time, like properly drawing, like taking time with it and trying. The origin of that was here, so I wanted to do a page marking that, didn't in the end, but honestly, me just writing drawing is enough because you get the point. I went to the garden centre with my mum again, another page is unfinished, I need to stop doing these garden centre pages. And then my little brother and I watched the entirety of the X-Men films, like every single one. I loved Marvel at the time, loved Avengers and things like that. He really wanted to get me into the X-Men films and we watched this. I preferred some over others. I should actually write all my reviews for them because I had some very mixed reviews. It was kind of a fun experience and I liked being able to do it with someone else. This is about Christmas Day. This is a beautiful quote. Quiet he lies, whose vigour hurled a universe. He sleeps, whose eyelids have not closed before. Older than eternity, now he is new. Now native to earth as I am, nailed to my poor planet. Caught that I might be free, blind in my womb to know my darkness ended. Brought to this birth, for me to be newborn, and for him to see me mended, I must see him torn. Beautiful, beautiful quote. I don't remember where I found that, but I'll have everything linked, like I said. Gifts I received. And then a gift I bought for myself, which was Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, the deluxe silver vinyl. New Year's Eve, didn't do anything. Spotify Wrapped, didn't do anything. December favourites, these are a bunch of songs. And then these are all the books that I read in December. I read 9, I think. That was a crazy reading month. The yearly highlights, and then this is a random piece of paper. This is all the books I read throughout the year. I read 13,824 pages. And then all these other pages are blank, but they're ones that I've been kind of tearing out and using in new journals, which has been really helpful actually. So that is my 2020 journal. This video was so long, oh my goodness. I know I touched on mental health. I couldn't really go through this journal without doing so because of just how this year in my life was. I just want to send my love to anyone else who's feeling uninspired by things they once loved. Complete resignation about life. Things do change. Change happens so quickly, but it's something that you can only see once you look back on it. Time does get better, but more than that, I wanted to say that you're very much not alone in that. The thing you're feeling right now is something that other people have felt. I think what would have most reassured me at the time is to understand that other people were feeling how I was feeling. A bunch of friends and things were like, oh, everyone's having a bad time of it because it's 2020 or whatever, but like feeling that low is not normal, but it's also not something that you're isolated in, and it's definitely worth getting help over it. I have come out the other side. I actually never went through therapy with it, but through some absolute miracle I did pass through that time in my life, and God willing I will continue to pass through. The fear of dipping back into the way I was feeling during this time is always there. Yeah, you're never alone in how you're feeling, but even if there's not someone to talk to, I'm here to say that things get better. And I know that people say that all the time, but I actually promise you they do, and you can take it from someone who, you know, you can kind of see through this process. Obviously really went through it, and actually throughout 2021 I wasn't able to journal more than about 3 pages because of how bad I was feeling. That was definitely the worst year. I've somehow come through this season of my life, and while things are not always 100% easy now, there's so many things that have messed up with my life, with my mind still. This whole thing is no longer my everyday, which is so beautiful. I originally put how I was feeling all down to like, oh, I'm in a reading slump. Oh, I don't like how it gets dark in the evenings. As a kind of thing, your mental health is so much more important what you kind of put up with. It's about kind of treating yourself well. And what's something that really kind of motivates you is that you can't treat other people well, and you can't be creative, do anything for another person unless you personally are feeling well in mind and spirit. So if that's any of you, then I will make sure to keep you in my prayers. But I would really recommend seeking help, because I know that even though I didn't seek it myself personally, it's something that would have made this whole period of my life make much more sense. The amount of relief I felt when I discovered that what I was dealing with was this like classified mental illness, and I was not just going insane dealing with something that no one else was dealing with. There was so much peace in finding out what was wrong with me, even though I wasn't healed. So yeah, that's my little rant on that. But I did think it was really important because this year obviously had a bunch of highs and lows for everyone because of the big illness. My highs and lows were kind of like generally affected by that, but on the whole, the kind of way I felt because of lockdown was so diminished compared to how I felt because of my mind towards the latter half of the year and into 2021, and honestly into 2022 as well. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. I post bookish and lifestyle content. I do a bunch of journaling actually. It's something I want to get back into. I'm going to buy a journal for 2023 so I can actually keep up to date with it and everything, and hopefully have a 2023 flip through on time next year in 2024. But yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. It's been lovely talking you guys through 2020. I'll see you next year for another journal flip through video, but I'll see you soon for more journaling videos and things like that if you want to subscribe and be around to see that. Bye.